So I thought I'd just break down the UFC Fight Night Allen vs Craig card. So the first fight of the night, we did have Charles Johnson versus Rafael Estevan. I was originally going to go with Charles Johnson, but I did just watch the tape and I did see that Estevan was just a very, very good grappler. But Johnson made this fight very competitive. At times, I was thinking, "Oh fuck, Johnson's actually going to get this one done." But Estevan ended up getting the win. I thought he did do enough. Arguably, the third could have been a 10-8, but I just don't think Charles Johnson did do enough damage to get a 10-8 there. But really good performance overall from Estevan. Obviously, his cardio is a bit worrisome. He was slowing down a bit, and his striking's not very developed, but he is just a strong grappler. So, had a lot of success. Charles Johnson is a very good anti-wrestler. So the fact he did get him down and everything is impressive enough. But, yeah, obviously Charles Johnson did expose some holes in Rafael Esteban's game for sure, but I still think he's a very solid fighter, so I'm sure he can beat a bunch of flyweights, but I don't know if he's going to be like the next up-and-coming threat at flyweight, but I do think he's a good fighter. There are so many good prospects to make the flyweight, though, so I'm sure he could probably beat some of these like older flyweights and everything like that. But he needs to definitely. I feel like he needs to work on his boxing. If he had like a boxing game to go with his takedowns, I feel like he'd actually be able to get some more shots in and everything. Like get takedowns a lot easier. But instead, he just sort of telegraphs his shots, throws wild shots, like wild punches and everything. But if he had some boxing, like he jabbed a little bit and jabbed into takedowns and used head movement a bit more. I feel like he could generally probably have a better game, but because he's so like one-dimensional, he's not very, he's not. It's a lot harder for him to be one-dimensional in a division like flyweight. But he did look good. Charles Johnson's a good win. Hopefully they don't cut Charles Johnson after this. Charles Johnson is so active. I really hope they don't go and cut him because he is generally a really good fighter. So I'd be annoyed if they did go and cut Charles Johnson. He takes so many fights. He takes the hard fights that nobody wants, and he's beaten some decent guys and arguably beat O'Day Osborne as well. So hopefully that's not the end for Charles Johnson in the UFC. Like he looked really good in that third round. Obviously didn't get the win, but still. Then we had Trey Ogden versus Nicholas Motta. This one was really weird. Trey Ogden, he looked good. He was pretty much dominating this fight. I'd say he was up 2 rounds. I'd say he was winning the third round. Then, Trey Ogden got a submission on Nicholas Motta, but the referee just sort of stopped it. And because of that, the fight just, it gets overturned to a no contest. Why was it not a technical decision? That's what I want to know. Why was it not a technical decision? It was already 3 rounds in. Trey Ogden had already won 2 rounds. He was also dominating the third round. That should have been a 30-27 technical decision for Trey Ogden. He generally got fucked over here. Now he's going to lose his win bonus. He doesn't get his win bonus now, even though, for all intents and purposes, he was winning that fight, and he should have won that fight. It should have been a technical decision. Should have gone to the scorecards, and it should have been a Trey Ogden win. But I don't know. I don't understand these commissions and these referees. They just change. I don't know. They just keep changing what is a technical decision and what is not a technical decision. What's a DQ and what's a no contest? What is the criteria for getting a technical decision? I fucking don't even know at this point. It makes no sense to me. I think Trey Ogden, he should definitely go and try and get that overturned to a win because he won that fight. Even if you say he didn't get that submission, which was in tight, he probably would have eventually got it. But even then, he was winning the fight. He won 2 rounds, was winning the third round. It should have been 3-0 to him, but instead, it goes to a no contest. Don't rebook this fight, UFC, whatever you fucking do. It was not a fun fight. This isn't a fight you need to go and rebook. We got 3 rounds of it. Trey Ogden was winning. There's no point to run that fight back. Moving on, we had Lucy Padovova versus Aline Perez. Perez wins. She shakes her ass. That's all I got to say. Then moving on, we had Jeka Saragui versus Lucas Alexander. Jekka really fucking shocked me. I really wasn't expecting him to win this. Lucas Alexander looked really good against Steven Peterson, but I did say I wasn't super confident on Lucas Alexander just because, yeah, he beat Steven Peterson, but that was an self-admittedly unmotivated Steven Peterson who hadn't trained for months, missed weight, looked flabbier than in his other fights, and just straight didn't look good. Uh, but then because of that, people thought Lucas Alexander was like the next big thing, or maybe not that, but they all thought like, shit, man, this guy's actually pretty good. But Jakasaragi fucking catches him and KOs him really quickly. I'm glad though, good win for Jakasaragi. A fun fighter, featherweight. Maybe he's a mythical fighter at featherweight. How good is Anshul Jubli, I guess, because Anshul Jubli just destroyed him, and Lucas Alexander couldn't. So I mean, how good's Mike Breeden too? But still, anyway, get back on track. Jakasaragi, he looked good for how little of the fight was really. He was getting hit with a lot of shots, but he looked good. Caught Lucas Alexander, brutally KOs him. I'm sure he would have got a performance bonus. If he didn't, then that's fucking bullshit. Actually, let me go and check. I'm sure he would have got a...
He's not.
Okay, sorry about that. I gotta turn my volume off when I go to check Instagram. Every single time a video plays. Alan got one. Yeah, okay, yeah. Jakasaragi, yeah, he definitely deserved performance bonus. So I'm glad he got that. Was it the only KO of the night? I don't know, Leroy Duncan as well. I'll get to that soon. But yeah, really good performance from Jakasaragi. Then moving on, we had Mick Parkin versus Caio Machado. Horrible fight, awful fight, robbery in my opinion. Caio Machado won that on the scoring criteria of MMA. Damage is the number one scoring criteria. Mick Parkin did nothing of note in the first and third round. Second round he probably gets just because Caio Machado didn't do anything. But like that was an awful showing from Mick Parkin. I don't know why he went in there with such a grappling heavy game plan. I feel like he could have won that fight if he struck with him, but I guess he didn't want to get chinned. But he got really lucky there. Like that was a 2005 type fucking score of a fight because Caio Machado won that fight. Like on damage, he definitely won that fight. I don't understand how you can give that to Mick Parkin. He didn't do any damage with his takedowns. Why Caio Machado landed so many more shots. Did damage in the first and third. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a real weird score, but I'm not going to fucking get too upset about it. It's a shit heavyweight fight. And I didn't really even pay too much attention, if I'm going to be honest. I rewatched it, but it was really awful. But I just thought Caio Machado's damage should have triumphed the grappling from Mick Parkin, but Mick Parkin stays undefeated. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for him next. I think he would have won this fight a lot easier if he just fought how he did against Pokes. I feel like his striking heavy game plan would have worked a lot better here, but I don't know. Weird fight overall. Then we had Christian Leroy Duncan versus Dennis Trulin. Absolute fucking butchering here from Christian Leroy Duncan. Dennis Trulin, I feel so bad for this guy. Like, his run in the UFC has just been fucking terrible. The guy he's literally the middleweight punching bag. Like, fucking got Park Young Young, got Gregory Rodriguez, then gets Christian Leroy Duncan. He beat Jamie Pickett, but who hasn't at this point? Then he lost to Aliscab Kizraev. 3 fighters are coming off a win to this guy. Like, I don't know. I feel bad for him. I hope they give him another shot. I know he's 10-9. It's not a pretty record. The guy is like fucking taking all of these fights are on like real short notice. Like really short notice. Like you gotta feel fucking bad for the guy, honestly. But I reckon give Dennis Trulin another shot. Like you just gotta give him a shot, in my opinion. Like give him Cody Brundage if he loses to Zachary Reese. Like, just fucking do it. Give the guy another shot. He deserves it. You've given him killer after killer, and then when you give him like a guy who isn't a killer, he goes and wins. Like, I mean, obviously he's bottom tier level for middleweight, but he's not like that bad, and he's fun to watch. It would be fun to watch him break Brundage because he would break Brundage. Brundage has really awful cardio, so I could see that being a fight where Tulin just goes in there and destroys him in the later rounds. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they cut him here. But yeah. But anyway, overall about the fight, Christian Leroy Duncan looked really good here. Like I've been saying, this guy's like a middleweight version of Cyril Gahn. Like literally fights exactly like him. Very unique style. I know it is, and I know it is just Dennis Turin, but I still think he's a very good fighter. I know people shat on him because he lost to Armin Petrosian, but Petrosian's not bad himself, and every middleweight has that one like random loss as well. So that's Christian Leroy Duncan's random loss. But overall, I think he's a really good fighter. First round not that entertaining. He did just clinch a little bit there, but that second round we got to see vintage Christian Leroy Duncan where he just beat the absolute shit out of him. And yeah, it was a really good performance here by CLD. So be interesting to see who they give him next. Cedric Dumas would be a good fight, both coming off wins. So yeah, I reckon that's the fight to make next for Christian Leroy Duncan. And then moving up the card, we had Jose Johnson versus Chad Anhangler. Just a dominant Jose Johnson performance, pretty much. He made a lot of mistakes, though. Like, I don't know. It seems like he was trying to lose this fight at points. Like, he would just make very significant errors, like a lot. But overall, it was actually a really good performance from Jose Johnson. Looked very complete. Just beat him everywhere. But yeah, very worrying at times for Jose Johnson. Like, he'd fall off or I don't know. I just feel like he could have won that fight a lot easier. Or he could have just won with his striking. But, he looked really good. Landed 141 total strikes. So, he landed a lot of output in this fight. And yeah, I think it was a good performance from him. Chad Anhangler probably going to get cut for being on it. Oh, he's 2-1. For bantamweight standards, that's a tough division. So maybe he gets another shot. But in my opinion, you got to give him like some fucking up and comer. Maybe you do Chad Anhangler versus Rinya Nakamura next. That probably makes some sense. As for Jose Johnson, who knows who you give him? It's crazy. 16-8. But he is actually a good fighter. Like, he just fights monsters. But yeah, good performance from him here, but not much else to say about this performance. Then we did have Jonathan Pierce versus Joe Henderson Brito. I spoke briefly about this. Jonathan Pierce, just with his fucking perfect fucking southern slave owner fucking impression. We'll do something about it, boy. I don't know why he said that. Like, everyone's clowning him now for it. Like, I don't know. That was just like, I don't know, the way he said it, man. Like, there was some hate towards that statement. Like, well, get up and do something about it, boy. But yeah, he gets ninja choked like soon after. So Joe Anderson Brito really did just come in there and do something about it. Just fucking brutally ninja chokes him. Like that ninja choke was in so deep, it looked like fucking Jonathan Pierce was about to see fucking God himself because yeah, he was in that deep. But yeah, good performance from Joe Anderson Brito. Called for Dan Ige again. Give him fucking Dan Ige already, for fuck's sake. Can we just not see that fight now? Like, he's been calling for him. Just give him the fight. I want to see what his game plan is. Like, he's so keen to fight Dan Ige, so we'll see what happens. Then we had Uros Medic versus Matabak Orabal. I didn't realize this after it because I didn't hear his post-fight interview, but he actually called for a lightweight fight after this. So this guy's a lightweight, which is interesting. Because he looked fucking big out there. He looks like a big guy, but 5'10", so, and he has fought at lightweight before. I did mention that. I think he's fought as high as middleweight, though, I swear. Or he got booked for a middleweight fight at least. But he has fought at lightweight. Multiple times. So I'm sure he can make that weight class. And if he says he can make it, fucking his only loss was actually at lightweight as well. So to a guy who's now 13-0, so it's not a bad guy he lost to. But yeah, this guy, I reckon he could be decent. I reckon he could be something. Like he's beating some decent guys. Like, I mean, he just went out there and dominated Uros Medic, which is a really good win. So it will be really interesting to see what they end up doing with this guy, like who they give him next. Because Uros Medic was like decently ranked at lightweight, I'm pretty sure. So you don't want to give him like a massive step back in competition. So maybe you could give him like somebody like, fuck, I don't even know, man. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head who they give him. I'll go look for it now. I don't want to be that guy. I've just mentioned it, so I gotta give somebody out. Okay, let's go look at the lightweight rankings real quick. So Orobai, in my opinion, maybe give him Claudio Puelles. Well, why not? Where is Claudio Puelles? The guy's disappeared. Give him Orobai, in my opinion. Or you could do Orobai versus Terence McKinney, because who wouldn't want to see that? But I don't know. I feel like he could beat something at that weight class. Like I generally do think he could beat something at lightweight. He's only 25 years old. He's young. He's a good fighter. Maybe we get him versus Rafael Fiziev in the future. That would be an international incident if that fight was to happen. But why not? You know, I feel like that would be a real fun fight, especially with how the Kyrgyzstan fan base just absolutely fucking hate Rafael Fiziev, even though he's from Kyrgyzstan originally, but he's not Kyrgy, he's Azari. So that'd be, I don't know, that could be an interesting little build up in the future. But yeah, I don't know. I think Orobai is a really good fighter, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in the future as a lightweight. But lightweight's got a lot of up and coming prospects coming up, so it'd be interesting to see him versus some of them lightweights. Then Amanda Ribas versus Luana Pinheiro went down, so Pinheiro wins the first round, Ribas takes the second, and out of nowhere gets a fucking KO. I think that was Amanda Ribas' first KO as a fucking fighter. And no, she's had four, but like that was a literal like an actual like proper TKO. Like she got her with a fucking spinning head kick, but really good performance from Amanda Ribas. She looked good in there physically, and the performance was alright as well. But yeah, I don't know. Do whatever you want to do with Amanda Ribas next. Good performance. Then moving up on the card, we had Peyton Talbot versus Nick Guerre. Okay. Yeah, so Peyton Talbot looked really good. I mean, the first round was a bit dicey. He was getting taken down, but he was so composed in there. Didn't show any he wasn't freaking out. He wasn't losing his shit in there. He looked very composed, which was good to see. And yeah, he just stayed composed. Went to the body, out cardio. This guy's cardio is very legit. He's got really good cardio and pace. It's probably the best part of his game. He just toughed it out, and yeah, goes in and pieces up Nick in the later rounds. Puts a bit of a beating on him, and then gets his first submission win over Nick. I'm just gonna call him Nick. I don't wanna say his name too fast. So yeah, Peyton Talbot gets the win here. Really good performance. Nick, his performance. I don't know. His fight style wasn't. He was just trying to hold to a victory, but Peyton Talbot didn't let that happen. He beat him with his cardio and pace. Good performance from Peyton Talbot, and I look forward to him in the future. I want to see him against a striker. He's been getting wrestler after wrestler, so I want to see what this guy can do just in a pure striking match. But yeah, I think he's someone. I know his performance in the first round wasn't the greatest, but I think he can be something. He's pretty young as well. I'm pretty sure. Like, how old is Peyton Talbot? I got to double check. I'm pretty sure he's a really young guy though. Yeah, he's 25, so he could be something in my opinion. He's very durable as well, but also powerful. Moves forward a lot, good pace. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Then we had Chase Hooper versus Jordan Levitt. Yeah, Jordan Levitt, Chase Hooper. The beginning of the fight looked like that fight scene from the In-Betweeners between Will and Simon. Not Will, sorry. Jay and Simon. Like, I don't know, they were just headlocking and sort of like smacking at each other. But it was a really good performance from Chase Hooper. He looked really good in this fight. 2-fight winning streak now for Chase Hooper. Uh, and yeah, he's looked good in both of his performances. He's a monster at lightweight. It's not a thing I thought I'd say about Chase Hooper, but he is. He's generally really good at lightweight. I still don't think he's like a championship level fighter, but he's improving a lot. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next for him. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next with him, man. I know Tom Nolan really wants that fight. Tom Nolan's already got a fight booked. From what I'm hearing, it's Machate, the Chinese guy, but I'm not. It's not 100% confirmed that it is, but it's looking like that is going to be his opponent. And if that is the case, then like Jesus Christ, what a matchup. But I don't know. I think Tom Nolan would run through Chase Hooper if they were to fight. But hey, maybe that is a fight that can happen in the future. Be a good way to build Tom Nolan's name. But yeah, good performance from Chase Hooper. Then we had Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. In my opinion, good performance from Michael Morales, but very pedestrian type performance. He didn't really do anything too crazy in there. Like in this fight, he pretty much he was very safe in here. And in the third round, Jake Matthews sort of figured him out, but it was a bit, it was a little too late. Couldn't get anything done, couldn't finish him or anything. But I thought Jake Matthews did take that third round, but yeah, Michael Morales gets it done. Then we have Brendan Allen versus Paul Berju Craig. Brendan Allen wins with his fucking grappling, his wrestling, and gets a submission. Could have won this fight on the feet quite easily, in my opinion. Paul Craig's striking's not the best, but they did have like a almost double knockdown point where they both just hit each other and they both were sort of rocked and stumbled. So I don't know, maybe he wasn't trusting in his chin even against Paul Craig, but it was a good performance from Brendan Allen. He looked good. I just don't like his fight IQ. Why would he make the fight harder than he had to? But yeah, he got it done. He looked really good. Like, I can't shit on him for his performance. I just feel like he makes fights harder for himself than he has to, but I mean, it worked out for him. I guess it makes him look better that he went in there and subbed Paul Craig, but I don't know. It still didn't have to be that hard for him, but good performance. Called for a title shot. He's not getting a title shot. The reason I'm going through these fights really quickly, by the way, is I've already spoke about them in previous videos. So if you want to hear my full detailed breakdowns on the few previous fights, then go watch them videos. But yeah, still good performance from Brendan Allen. He's probably going to fight Marvin Vettori. He called for a #1 title shot. I think he needs 2 more fights before he can go for a title shot. But we'll see what happens. It's middleweight. Anything can happen. But he has already lost to Sean Strickland, so there's not really a big need for a title fight rematch between Sean Strickland and Brendan Allen, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's all I've got to say, so thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on some of the fights on this card. Let me know your standout performance. And if you're not already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.